It's big business. But do corporations have to be big business?
What? Get right this. Hold it. Break it down like this. Break.
Okay, what's the next one?
Just about every area of your life, whether it's the music you listen to, or the sneakers you wear, or the jeans you wear, or the car you drive perhaps, or the bicycle, whatever, there is, in every area of your life, there is 3 or 4 huge mega corporations that basically control the show.
If a community's economic distribution becomes slanted, its middle income groups grow smaller, and despotism stands a better chance to gain a foothold. If this condition exists over the nation as a whole, so that the control of jobs and business opportunities is in a few hands, despotism stands a good chance.
Probably the fundamental ill is the fact that there's too much wealth concentrated in the hands of too few people. And I think that income gap is widening as time goes on. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. There used to be a situation where that applied in the third world, but not as much in the first world. But I think that's becoming more and more of a problem. As mega corporations and big shareholders gain more and more power, there's more and more power concentrated in their hands, and the poor just continue to be more and more disempowered, more and more disenfranchised. And I just think that that's increasing all the time. As the corporations become more powerful and more greedy, that just exacerbates all the ills, and I think it's getting worse and worse. And I think as long as mega corporations continue in their greedy patterns and habits, it will continue to get worse, and it does seem that that is on the cards unless consumers like ourselves begin to take some power back.
Please consider yourself to be under oath. Yes or no? Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
Congressman, cigarettes and nicotine clearly do not meet the classic definitions of addiction.
I don't believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
And I too believe that nicotine is not addictive.
And these mega corporations, they play a kind of a trick on people's minds, especially young people's minds, in my opinion. A kind of I hate to use this sort of a crazy word, but it's a kind of a mindfuck thing that they pull off on people. They pay millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to celebrities to dispense this kind of a top-down corporate cool. And unless you're really smart, and again, one of those rare people who see through it, you're going to be hoodwinked by this top-down corporate cool, and you're really going to mistake it for the real thing. And ultimately, this really does it's a kind of a mindfuck, because people think that when they suddenly put on a pair of Nike shoes, that they can somehow be empowered. And when you're young and you're feeling vulnerable and your sexuality hasn't quite developed yet to the point where you're really confident about it, and your self-esteem isn't quite exactly right yet.
Recently I was looking through my little black book and I realized I didn't have too many friends. So I went out and I got some Tommy Hilfiger cologne. Now I'm buff and good looking and I get laid all the time. And I've never had a very positive attitude about life, but my new Nikes keep me optimistic, and now I'm a real go-getter. Anyway, now my life is perfect and I'm a much happier person.
Then you'll fall for that kind of a top-down corporate cool, and you'll buy yourself a pair of sneakers, Nike sneakers, and you think you're going to get a bit of a swoosh in your life. And you know what? It's not going to happen. 2 weeks later, you'll realize that you've spent your $100 or whatever, and those girls in the schoolyard still don't like you as much as you think you'd like them to like you, and all of a sudden, this promise of empowerment that Nike gave you suddenly turns into cynicism. It turns into this realization that you cannot buy cool, you cannot buy self-esteem, and that's where the Blackspot sneaker comes in. This Blackspot venture that we started, this is an attempt to unswoosh the swoosh, to create an authentic bottoms-up kind of a cool, something that emanates up from the grassroots, and it's an attempt to rethink the mega corporate cool.
We don't believe in this sort of pervasive, ubiquitous, in-your-face marketing like big companies like Nike do. So the challenge is up to us to spread the word to people who are somewhat unenlightened without resorting to advertising. So part of this whole campaign is that it is a grassroots approach. We are trying to foster and encourage grassroots participation. So we want to rally the forces, rally the troops, get as many people on board as we possibly can. The internet is a very powerful tool. I think a lot of our publicity, so to speak, is spread via the internet. Part of our whole Blackspot venture is that it's shareholder driven. Anyone who buys a pair of Blackspot shoes becomes a shareholder in the Blackspot Anti-Corporation.
I set a high value on my stock in Imperial Steel. It pays good dividends. It's a sound investment. And now you advise me to sell it. What kind of a lawyer are you, Sid?
And this gives them the power to influence future decision-making within the anti-corporation in terms of future production plans or where we intend to go with the venture. So the shareholders are also very powerful, a very powerful tool in terms of spreading the word for us. So we have shareholders who go out there that try and recruit retailers for us.
We believe in the product, and we want to promote it, and we know that people on Commercial Drive want to buy the product. We don't have a lot of ability as a bicycle retailer to promote these kind of products because a lot of the cycling industry is not pushing for that. Right. We make a profit in terms of what we pay for it and what we sell it at, but in the bigger scheme of things, we have overhead. And so we don't make our overhead on the sale, so we're actually losing money on the sale. I try to promote my ideals by how I live and where I work.
We'll never be able to convert everybody, but I think that that's no reason not to try, and I think that everybody has a moral obligation to try and present ethical alternatives to anybody and everybody. It will work sometimes, other times it won't, but we'll try.
So don't ask me to tell you what your role is. You figure it out yourself. Will we succeed? I'm sorry, I cannot give you that last little bit of inspiration. For the last 15 years here at Adbusters Media Foundation, we've tried our best, we've knocked our head against the wall, we've come up with a few good ideas. I hope those ideas inspire you. After that, you run with the ball. You inspire me.
What? Get right, fist hold it. Break it down like this.
Break. Okay, what's the next one?